Welcome back, YouTube. So we're going to be talking about two very important things that are going on right now. One is the Doge-1 rocket pretty much getting clearance and getting the green light to go ahead and take off. And the other is the fact that we have had 8 out of the last 9 days consecutively, really, green for Dogecoin. That is Dogecoin setting higher highs each day. We're going to take a look here at the charts to kind of see where we're really just trending toward and what points of resistance that we're going to have on the way to 10 cent. And we only really have one standing in between the price that we're currently bouncing around right now and going back into double digits. But first, let's take a look here at the approvals, and then we'll talk about what that means for the coin overall. So you can find these are articles all over Twitter. I believe they've been confirmed as well. So this is something that is very interesting as far as for the coin. Actually, even because before it kept getting delayed, and a lot of people were losing hope. And they thought that, okay, this is something that's going to take a really long time, but you actually see the wheels hitting the ground now. So people are really getting excited, but you can see Doge-1 has received full license acceptance from the FCC today. So you'll see here that it was just confirmed from the United States Federal Communications Commission. And I want to point out overall what this means for the coin. So when we are talking about the coin and having this really, really huge, not only historic, but really a large marketing plan for the coin, what you're doing is you are combating the narrative, because the biggest thing that we have for Dogecoin, actually it being used for like its purpose, whether that be gaining extra utility or separating itself from a lot of the other coins that came after Doge, when we had that big like cash grab from all like the knockoff coins, a lot of the BS coins that are no longer around, or it just came to pull liquidity away from the coin. You're adding you're pretty much removing the meme part from the coin. You're putting it in a space where it's able to compete and go out on it in its own lane and be taken more seriously. It's gaining notoriety. It's taking I won't say like the joke portion of it, because I know that that's how it was created, and it's a staple to the community, but it's adding a level of seriousness to the coin. It's putting it in a different space and being able to kind of differentiate itself from a lot of these other coins. So when you start saying that, okay, well, let's have this push for utility, let's have this push for these partnerships with different businesses, or whether or not where places that it's going to be accepted, you're going to go from a standpoint of, okay, well, what's this coin? Is it Dogecoin's step cousin, Dogecoin's, all the little meme coins, and you'll say, oh no, this is Dogecoin. This is what it's done since it's been a top 10 crypto for the last 3 years, last 4 years, last 5 years. It's the first crypto in space. It has partnerships with X and Tesla, and it's doing all these amazing things. That suddenly becomes a much easier conversation to have versus just accept this crypto just because we put pictures and memes and stuff like that up. So it really just adds, it really validates a lot of aspects of the coin. I think this overall strengthens the longevity there and opens up doors to have it taken more seriously and added to and really separating itself to position itself, really not even separation, but position itself to be one of those coins that gets added for like utility and stuff like that, because we see BlackRock and all of these other coins getting institutionalized. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I made a video about 2 years ago, and I compared different coins to like Visa, American Express, Discover, and I said that even though these credit processing companies are capable of doing the same thing, they all fall in their own lanes. And I believe this is going to happen for a lot of the coins that are in the top 10. They're going to be able to necessarily coexist, but they're all going to have their own niche that they're going to operate in. And I don't believe that's a bad thing. I think that's actually a good thing. So let's take a look here. Let's switch over to the charts. Okay, so this is what I meant by the last 8 days here. So this is a previous trend. If you guys have been following my channel, We talked about the potential of a retouch down here or potentially going to grab some liquidity. And it did something in the middle. It literally rejected off of that top level for Doge's primary liquidity. And then it just went almost, I don't even say it's going to regain trend because it's actually trending a little higher than it was the first time, but it's kind of keeping this here, just giving it some grace. But you can actually see that it's trending a little higher than it was the first time. But overall, you can count here, we are 8 days, these are daily candles, we are 8 days green. The last 8 out of the last 9 days green, excuse me. And this candle here hasn't closed yet. That's why I'm not saying 7 out of the last 9. This is a daily candle. It hasn't closed yet. We got to give it time to fulfill itself. But ultimately, where we're at right now, and the reason this green candle, this massive green candle that we had closed here as of yesterday is such a big deal, is because it put us in territory of a very important zone here. And this is the zone that we typically have the issues with when you are pushing to go into double digits, because when you have like this retest, when you're breaking down off of coming down off of like the 10 range to high 9 ranges, Doge bumps its head here many times, and it sometimes you're able to recover. You had this big push down here. You can see this dotted red line. So I'm just going back through history here. You can see this dotted red line. Doge pushes here, and it kind of really close below it before it's able to break above it with some higher momentum here. This has been same thing here. Big push down here with this candle and the close beneath it. I believe this is the Elon purchase of Twitter here. So that zone wasn't going to stop that momentum. But you can see it's been very consistent throughout history that this zone here is like a buffer zone for Doge. So this is going to be very important when we close that, because we're able to break through it before, but that very next candle was it literally just filled the gap back down. But I think the catalyst for this is going to be able to provide some consistent buying pressure. So even though the movements aren't as violent as it was on this first uptick, or even some of the ones the last time we retested, they're more consistent. And if you know anything about charts and the way I like to look at assets, I think it's much more important to have if you're looking for longevity or strength in a position, it's much more important to have the stair steps versus the rockets, right? Because those rockets, they turn into gaps, and then you really don't, even if you're doing a retracement or a small consolidation, you have to leave room for the asset to fill those gaps on the way down, versus if you're able to build consistently in those positions, you can consolidate at any one of those numbers in that zone, versus saying that, okay, well, we can have in this case, we can have a full penny drop or a penny and a half drop because of the really just the gaps on the upside. And so we can kind of close some of those doors here as we build strength in some of those smaller positions. So I think that's really important for this, especially for this zone right here. We'll talk about around the 10-cent range. I don't think shorts are doing anything right now, but I know they will come probably closer as Doge gets to launch. Yeah, right now, non-existent. You can expect some spikes here as Doge gets to launch, or especially if Elon mentioned it. You can expect the bots and stuff like that to come in. Or which I really believe is going to happen, it'll probably wait until you get around 10 cents, because it's easier to trigger panic, because most of the people that are buying now, they're going to be in the green with a decent amount of profit at around 10 cents. And so when you start to, it's easier, especially when you're shorting, to try and get the people to help you pretty much bring the coin down, which is cost like the panic sells and stuff like that. And once people are in the green, they're going to be much more likely to sell and kind of trigger that downward pressure at around like 10 cents or even higher, so that they can make a profit. That's why at 6 cents, most people's DCAs are either around there or lower. That's why shorts just pretty much go silent when you get around that level, because it's going to be very difficult to push the coin down. And they've tried a couple times. My friend, I'll prove my point here. Oh no. Put this right back. Okay. Um, so I prove my point here is we've seen this is the main liquidity zone here for Doge, 596 to around 709. And this here is the area that if you were able, since Elon started mentioning Twitter, since he's purchased Twitter, if you're able to grab some Doge in this area, you have received the profit 100% of the time. But this is the zone that they struggle with. This is why shorts go non-existent. We get close to this level and we see this violent uptick. It just bounces out of here like a rubber ball, really. It's because at this zone here, buying pressure picks up greatly, and there are little to no sell. So they would have to aggressively short to try and break this level down here. And I think that with the amount of people holding Doge, especially right now, they don't want to risk themselves getting short squeezed, so they do not. So they back off at around this level. And Doge typically consolidates within the 596 to 709 versus the 523 to 596. So this is why you kind of have like these rejections here. It's closed here briefly, but it's very rare. It does not consolidate in this zone. We can go back here, bounce, reach down here, grab some liquidity. Same thing, trending in this zone, grab some liquidity, bounces back out. That's not where it typically likes to consolidate. So wanted to point that out here. Ultimately, what we're going to look at going forward before I close here is going to be these two zones here. Ultimately, where this next candle, I say next 24, 48 hours is going to be big. This green candle here definitely put us in position. It was a great setup. It set us up for a home run, but we can see here over the next 24, 48 hours where this next candle consolidates, and we'll see how we're going to deal with this next point of resistance. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I will respond to as many of you as possible. I appreciate you guys for responding to my questions in the community section. I'll be taking some additional information as I look to better serve all of you. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me on this journey, and as we document our investments and ultimately just make the world a better place for retail investors. So thank you all, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you like the charting that you've seen in this video or the news that I bring to this channel, you can have access to both at moomoo.com. I have a link in the description section. You can get up to 15 free stocks when you open an account with $100, and you will also get 5.1% interest on your money, FDIC insured, while you are holding cash in there if you want to wait for a particular investment. And it really just adds a variety to your ability to invest in the stock market while gaining interest on your money and getting some free money. And if you want to sell those stocks and buy something else, you can. But you can have access to these charts, news, information, trainings, everything by clicking the link in the description section.